Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting episode on Special Edition on the I.M.A.G.E TV podcast. My name is Bobby Pate, and I am the host of the I.M.A.G.E TV podcast. Generally, what we do is highlight the success of re-entry on the I.M.A.G.E show. And today, this is going to be a very special show because I have my daughter, Precious Pate, who has had an enormous amount of success with education and growing up. Precious Pate is a twin. Her sister is Princess Pate, my other daughter, who was unable to make it today due to her busy schedule. However, we're going to talk about these girls and the beautiful blessing and just the success and how proud I am and the importance of being in communication with your kid, your daughter. So first of all, I want to congratulate Precious Pate. It's a pleasure to have you on the I.M.A.G.E TV show.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be here.
So this is a beautiful setting. This is the setting that I've always wanted. Precious, first of all, I want to talk about your success. So being you and your sister, 6 years old, when I went to prison, I spent 11 straight years in prison, and I prayed that you and your sister would be safe and that you guys would be successful. You were only 6 years old, and this was really tough for me because I knew that I was going to be away for a long time, and I wasn't quite sure how you guys were going to turn out. And by the grace of God and by the mercy, you guys turned out just wonderful. You're having a beautiful career. So you and your sister both graduated with your bachelor's degree, and now you're in the master's program at the University of Iowa. And tell me a little bit about going all the way back now to 6 years old when Dad first went to prison. How did that make you feel? How did you deal with that?
I remember Mom telling us, and being 6, I didn't really understand what that meant at first. I was just like, oh, okay, so I won't see him for a little bit. But, time isn't real as a 6-year-old, so I didn't know what that looked like. And then she would take us to visit you. And the time felt very spaced out because, as a child, nothing feels normal. But we made it normal, writing letters, visiting as much as we could.
Yes, you guys did visit a lot, and that made me feel a lot better. That changed my days. Whenever you get a visit from your kids, you'd be surprised how much that changes your whole day in there. So what about then moving on into high school? You guys even went to Johnston High School, where I graduated from. Shouts out to Johnston High School, JHS, especially the girls basketball team. They are doing awesome. But you guys were able to go to my high school. I was very proud of that. You graduated from Johnston and then went on and graduated at the University of Iowa. Did you know that you were going to go to college when you were in high school?
Yeah, college always felt like the next step for me and Princess. I can speak for her before she's here.
All right.
But yeah, college always felt like the next step. We just didn't know what that would look like because we're first-generation college students, so we didn't know what that would be like. But going to Johnston, everyone was kind of preparing for college, so we're like, oh, us too.
Okay. And so you maintained a 4.0 in high school. How hard was that?
It was pretty hard. I will say, not to brag, but it doesn't take that much in high school for me to study. In college, that kind of changed. It took a little bit more for me to study. But maintaining a 4.0, high school was fun, so I didn't hate any of my classes. I liked all my classes, especially math and science. So yeah. Okay.
What about you guys grew up in Fort Dodge, Iowa, and then you moved to Des Moines. What was that like, the transition from Fort Dodge, then going to Des Moines, Iowa? Just about an hour and a half difference. But what was it like as far as the school, the town, transformation?
We moved at the end of our 8th grade year, so right before high school. So me and my sister were pretty sad at first because, you grow up with our childhood friends. We wanted to go to high school with them. We had picked out all of our classes at that point. So then when Mom transferred us to Johnston, we were reluctant at first because no kid wants to leave their childhood friends. But it grew on us.
Now, let me ask you, so did you ever have the students in school say things like, hey, where's your dad at? Did you ever get picked on because your dad was in prison? Did that motivate you?
We were never picked on for anything like that at all. Nobody really asked about personal lives. Not like, I should say, nobody asked any questions like that. So no.
Okay. And then now that you're in college, you've graduated from the University of Iowa with your bachelor's, and now you're in the master's program, both you and your sister.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I'm doing a master's in clinical anatomy. So this is tracking me to go to medical school. So think of it like a link program in a way, but not a direct link. But they prepare you for medical school. So I took medical gross anatomy. I'm taking embryology, classes like that prepare me for the medical field. And then Princess is taking classes at the University of Northern Iowa for her master's program.
Now let's talk a little bit about I.M.A.G.E for Lives real quick.
Okay.
Coming out of prison, you watched me, your father, develop I.M.A.G.E for Lives. You remember the day when I got out and I told you what I was working on and how I wanted this to be successful, and then you've watched that success grow throughout the years. What do you think about that? Tell us a little bit about that.
I think it's nice. I think it's a blessing to see. Yeah, I tell my friends now that they ask, like, what do my parents do? I'm like, oh, yeah, my dad has a nonprofit and my mom's a nurse.
Okay. And then you've also brought friends to me. Some of your friends have reached out to me and have contacted me on behalf of I.M.A.G.E for Lives and said that they wanted to work in the reentry field for just like volunteer work. And I thought that was great.
Yeah.
But, one of the very exciting things that I find about my kids and spending time with my kids is that your kids are a part of you, your genetics, your bloodline, all of that. So a lot of the things that I do, I see in you.
Nice.
And when that time comes, when you have kids, you'll see the same thing. Now, what are your future plans? You're going to be a doctor. Tell us go back to your major, what you're studying, where you're looking at finishing at, and how this is all kind of going to play out for you.
Yeah. So I graduated in May of 24 with my bachelor's in public health. Now I'm in a master's in clinical anatomy, and then I'll be applying to medical school this summer. So hopefully next cycle I'll be starting classes. Where I'm going, I'm unsure, but I'm pretty open. I'll be applying in the Midwest and also like southeastern border, like near North Carolina, things like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned into the I.M.A.G.E TV podcast, PTWWN TV, YouTube. Those of you joining us on Special Edition, we want to invite you. We also want to let you know that it is important that you subscribe. For those of you watching us on YouTube, we want you to hit that subscribe button. Share. It's important that people are seeing and hearing the I.M.A.G.E show and the I.M.A.G.E TV podcast. These topics that we talk about for men and women both coming out of prison, the transition, you have to have that relationship with your kids. It's very, very important. And I'll tell you, Raya, when I came out and spending time with you and Princess, that was just like a dream come true, watching you guys get older, go to college, and it's just to see that God actually answered all of those prayers that I was praying for is just simply amazing.
Yeah.
And now we're out here in Tampa, Florida. We had a great last few days. You had a chance to visit the University of Florida in Gainesville. What did you think about that?
It's nice. Yeah, it's nice to see. We saw alligators, so that was fun.
Yeah, but you said it wasn't for you. You didn't really think the University of Florida was a place that you wanted to pursue.
No, not necessarily.
Good. And that's good. And what made you come to that conclusion?
I don't know. I just don't see myself here.
Okay, all right. Hey, nothing wrong with it. Dad loves it out here. I love Tampa. I like Tampa, Florida. I mean, this Tampa, Clearwater, and the people in Gainesville, they are such sweet people. They all come together. One thing I like about Florida and these other places is the people come together. Particularly even the African Americans, when you're a minority, you're used to being a minority, and you see these people coming together to try to help you and try to make things move forward. That's very, very important. So, what are some qualities that you've learned in life that you've found to be very valuable?
Keeping God first, number one.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Amen. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
As long as I obey, that's always the the biggest thing, because God is always directing us. It's just up to us to follow Him. And then love, of course, being the number one commandment.
Yes.
So loving everyone, trying to be as positive as I can be. The world can be crazy, so I try to be as positive as I can be.
Oh, that's good. And you've done a great job. Ladies and gentlemen, you've also got your boyfriend, Deshaun, who you would like to send a shout out to. By the way, Deshaun is a very, very good kid. He's a very good gentleman. He shows a lot of gratitude, and I'm happy that you have made a good choice.
Thank you.
Does it look like marriage is in the picture anytime soon for you guys?
You'll have to stay tuned.
Okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned as we continue to bring you all this action here on the I.M.A.G.E TV podcast. It's Dad and Daughter Day, and again, we are in Tampa, Florida, enjoying ourselves on this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful morning. And yeah, so is there anything else that you wanted to say, Raya?
I would say motivation. Keep going, no matter how hard it is. Just keep going.
How hard was that to be able to go from then graduating, then deciding that you're going to go through with your master's? Most people get through 4 years of college, they get their bachelor's, and then they quit. They say that they've had too much, school was too much. But both you and your sister, you continued right on, and you're just continuing on. So Princess Pate is going to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're going to be a doctor. What made you guys want to be a doctor and a lawyer?
So when I chose public health, I knew primary care was something I was really focused on in improving the lives of especially Black women in America, because maternal mortality is pretty high. So I wanted to be a part of the fixing as much as I could. I know it's a giant problem, but I want to do as much as I can on my end. And I knew taking this road would be difficult, but it'll be rewarding. May not just be for me, but for everyone.
Okay, that's awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, you guys have had the pleasure of spending the time with my daughter and I on this show. I've got another guest. His name is Quarterback. They call him Big Amp, and he just walked in. We're going to have Big Amp come over here and sit down. We're going to talk with Big Amp a little bit. This is the guy that introduced me to the people who produce this podcast and this environment out here. So, Big Amp, come on up and talk to us a little bit. And Precious Pate, it's been a pleasure having you on the I.M.A.G.E TV podcast.
Well, thank you.
Come on, Amp. We would like to thank all the supporters that have supported the I.M.A.G.E TV show, the I.M.A.G.E TV podcast. We would like to thank you all for all of your support. Brian Lee with Doc's Lounge. We also have Nancy Huizinga with CCI. She's a volunteer for CCI back in Des Moines, Iowa. We would like to thank you guys for your support in supporting this show. All right, Big Amp, have a seat.
Yes, sir.
And we're back on the I.M.A.G.E TV podcast, back in the Image Zone. And I got Big Amp with me, AKA Quarterback.
Yes, sir.
Amp, it's a pleasure to have you on the I.M.A.G.E TV podcast, my friend.
Hey, no, I definitely appreciate the invite. I definitely appreciate it.
Talk to us, Amp. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I got 30 years in the entertainment industry. However, over the last 5 years, it's kind of evolved more to small businesses, not just minority businesses, but small businesses as well. And my mission statement in that capacity is to make sure that the smaller businesses have access to the same things as the Fortune 500 companies, and that we keep up with the new developments as they come so that we're not behind. And we all understand marketing, we all understand promotions and branding, but I want to make sure that we're utilizing it in the capacity as which it was intended.
That's very important, my friend.
That's it. And some of us, and respectfully, everybody's...
Now wait, for some of you that don't know, you know, Big Amp was supposed to be the next Tupac out here.
Oh man, no,
Big Amp used to
no.
rap. He's very well connected out here in Tampa in the entertainment industry. When we do our talent show, we are definitely going to utilize your services and your help. These brothers come together out here in Florida, and they make things happen by coming together and showing love. So we really appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. Everything that you do.
And it's one thing that I want to say, if you don't mind. Of course, they call me old school. You know, I'm 30 years older than most of the guys. But one of the things that I'm teaching all of the guys that come behind me is power in numbers. Find your tribe, and it's hard to be successful by yourself.
Yes.
And so when I'm aligning with people, it's not too much that I need. I'm not being arrogant. I'm just saying it's not too much that I need. So I go and do what they need, and I ask them prior to giving it to them, are you going to pay it forward? Because everybody doesn't have the proper mentorship. Everybody doesn't have a person to shadow. And so I just think that's important. And if I don't do nothing else, and I know some people call it OGs or old school or whatever they call it, I just want to bridge the gap to where we can converse and we can dialogue.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know, and I think, and just the world according to me, I think us being able to dialogue and fellowship, I think that's a form of currency. That's my opinion.
Yes. And for all the other brothers out here in Florida, Ziggy, Kip, all of you guys who have helped, this has really been a blessing. And for those back home in Des Moines, Iowa, I want to say, send a special shout out to Westchester Church, Lee, Cindy, and Steve Hall. You know, you guys have been, Pastor Chuck, you guys have been a very, very big inspiration when I've needed somebody to talk to. You know, this day and age, you need people to talk to who are instilled in the Word of God, people who have that direction, you know, that experience.
And that went through something.
Yes.
I understand we're on social media, if I may just add this point. Social media is a highlight reel.
Yes.
Most of it is not real. And with that being said, and this just, you know, it might be out of place, but coming back to your point of needing to talk to somebody, I think isolation breeds depression. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
And then the second thing is, when we are able to talk, connect, and fellowship, it shows that we're not the only one where life is lifing.
Yes.
And I think most of the problem, in my opinion, is a lot of people kind of comparing where they should be, but we don't know what your process is, what your journey is, and what stage you're in.
Yes.
And I think that if we can identify what our true purpose is, then I think that'll stop our mind from playing tricks on us.
I agree. Ladies and gentlemen, you have tuned in to the I.M.A.G.E TV podcast. We're out here in Tampa, Florida, chopping it up. We've had my daughter on the show. We've had Big Amp on the show. I want to thank you all for tuning in. It's about time for us to wrap it up. Again, I want to say thank you also to Brian Lee and Marianne Lee at Doc's Lounge, Robert Kramer, You guys have all made this happen, okay? This trip particularly was very, very important for me because of what I was going through. And all these people made it happen.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
they made sure that I was able to get out here. They made sure that I was able to maintain my sanity with all the other stuff going on, all the people needing help,
Right.
you know, and just a lot of the trauma that comes with a lot of this stuff. You know, you need people in your life, in your corner. You need people who believe in God and people with that right discernment and direction.
And sometimes support is as simple as picking up the phone.
Simple as picking up the phone. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in. We're out of time. It's a wrap.
Thank you, my brother.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, on the I.M.A.G.E podcast here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm with another hometown boy from Des Moines, Iowa, Jordan Shea. Jordan Shea, it's a pleasure to have you on the I.M.A.G.E podcast.
Pleasure to be here.
Here in the ATL.
Yes, sir.
You know, we had a good chance to kick it yesterday. Went to the 76ers.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah,
that was a good
76ers
time.
played Atlanta Hawks. And it was a good, exciting.
Oh, yeah. Overtime.
Yeah.
Them boys was playing. They was playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your transformation as it relates to your geographical change.
Okay.
As it relates to living in your heart's desire.
Okay. Man, so I visited Atlanta in 2009, right? And came down here, did some music. And because I did music back home. And I said, man,
You got a radio show here.
I got a radio show
in
here.
Atlanta.
Yep. So
This man has a radio show here in Atlanta, Georgia right now. That's great.
Yep. I'm on. I have a show that comes on Sundays 2 to 4 p.m. on Hot 92.3. It's on iHeartRadio. But that facility where Hot 92.3 is located, we have 9 different stations, and we also have a cluster TV, which is on Roku channel. So we have a broadcast studio there, and I actually manage that facility. I do promotion and marketing for that facility. So yeah, man, so I do the radio thing. I got a book out, Relationship Seasons, Assets, Liabilities, and Lessons Learned that I wrote 2 years ago. Still doing music, DJing all over the city here, traveling, doing that. And trucking company, JMS Logistics. And man, just grinding it out. You know, the grind don't stop down here. And down here, there's so many opportunities, man. It's really wide open. It depends on really what you want to get into.
How long have you been in Atlanta, Georgia
I
now?
moved in Atlanta September 2012.
Was it hard to move?
It was because all of my family is in Des Moines, right?
Okay, what about financially? Tell me about that transformation.
Financially, so basically when I first moved down, I had a partner that was down here, and he was trying to get me down here for years, and a couple years. And I was like, man, I think I'm gonna come. And I finally came. And when I first came down, and I had some stuff set up back home, and I had a party bus still going. We had annual events. We had Drake Relay stuff still going. Had a little clothing store there. So, I kind of set it up before I took off, right? So then when I got down here and stuff started slowly dwindling down till it really wasn't doing nothing like it used to at the crib. So I realized I was the person that was keeping stuff going back home.
Now, my family and your family know each other very well. Once I literally found out who you were, I was happy because I know a lot of your family. I remember Mr. Shade.
Yeah.
I remember Shade Tree Barbershop.
Yeah, that's my grandfather.
Yeah, and I remember all of that stuff. So and it was nice, man, to be able to talk with someone who's from your hometown when you're in another state,
That's
especially
right.
like Atlanta.
Yeah.
And so someone exceptional like yourself who has been making all these accomplishments.
Yeah.
I think that's a story and it's inspiring and people need to hear about it.
Oh yeah.
So
definitely.
So you moved from Des Moines, Iowa in what year?
So I moved from Des Moines, Iowa in 2012. September 2012 I moved down.
And did you have a job set up out here?
I did not.
You did not have a job.
I didn't have a job set up, man. I had it was so when I tell you it was crazy, I had sold my car, so I had a little rent-a-car plug when I moved down here, so I was paying a little minimum fee per day. I had a rent-a-car for probably 5 months down here, so did that, came down. Like I said, a buddy of mine told me to come down. I came down here, and within 8 months of me being here, he moved to another state, you know what I'm saying? And so I was like, yo, I'm down here, it's just me, you know what I'm saying? And got a little apartment, got a little job, try to make that work, man. Ran into a couple of issues, almost came back home a couple of times. But like I said, I got a praying family, man. I got a praying family, and God's been good, man. He brought me a long way to be able to still be able to be here doing what I'm doing. So,
All right.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're locked and loaded into Nothing But Love on the I.M.A.G.E TV podcast, episode number 44, and I'm with Jordan Shea, and I know Jordan's family, and me and Jordan had a great time out yesterday watching a great, exciting game.
Oh, yeah.
Man, you get to do this stuff all the time. I mean, for me, I thought that was pretty exciting.
Oh, it was. It was exciting, though. Yeah, it don't happen like that all the time, man. That was a good game. That was, and we had some good seats, man. You blessed, man. Bobby now. Bobby showed out, man, yesterday. We had some amazing seats, so you can see the sweat off of them coming off of them, man.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so now, tell me a little bit more about why it was that you moved from Des Moines.
Okay.
What made you want to get out of Des Moines, Iowa?
Man, there was a few different things. For one, I had lost a couple of partners to gun violence, and I was like, that's it for me. You know what I'm saying? Because it was too close to home. Both of them, we had lost them, and I literally talked to them, one within hours and one the day before. Like I'm talking about long conversations. Like we sitting there chopping it up in person, and the next day you telling me they gone. So it was that, man. It was the opportunities. I was working at a job there in Des Moines at Wells Fargo, and I seen so many of my colleagues that didn't have the same color as me being promoted, and I was kind of stuck. I was stagnant in the job situation. So it was just like, it seemed like there was a ceiling for me to do that, for me to do, for 10 years, man, me and my partner, we were the biggest promoters in the city, but we still had regular jobs. You know, these guys down here, they're promoting, and that's what they do for a living.
You know, this is how I look at that, because it's really tough.
Yeah.
Okay. Now working for the state of Iowa, I like to try to figure out what can Iowa do different, right? Yeah. I mean, those are kind of things that go through my head. However, if I'm to trace it back, as an African American, of course, we don't have a big population in Des Moines, Iowa. Now, whose fault is that? Okay, it's not Iowa's fault,
no,
right? No. Just like Atlanta has more blacks, right? Whose fault is that? Well, it's not the blacks' fault.
No.
I mean, that's the way it is, right?
Ain't allowed in my book no more. Problems get solved and revolve with ammo when I'm 4-4. For sure I get the record blast 5 times. 254 sentenced to jail time.